Howdy everyone, thank you so much for waiting. We are underway with the first matchup of the day. It's going to be round of 8. We're watching the Code Green NA tournament, and this is going to be Team Eddard up against Team Tywin. The Starks and the Lannisters are facing off pound for pound. We see the bands coming out already. Hercules and Colonel's gone. Zhang Kui and Mercury, very competitive bands there, as well as the first pick tier going to the one, the only Team Eddard across the way on the left side of your screen. Right side is going to be Team Tywin, but of course I'm joined today by Squiddish the Famous. How you doing, my friend?
I am pretty good, and no big surprises here so far. You leave Athena on the table. She is bound to get picked up in one of the first couple drafts, and there she is showing up along the opposite tier, not alongside, opposite. That's the opposite of alongside. Coming in with what looks like it's going to be on her as a carry, so they're just picking up their dual lane stuff right there. Might be going for Sobek instead. Also, very solid choice. Sobek and Athena, just such top-tier support tanks there. I mean, with both of them on the table, maybe it's not super important to grab one immediately, because whatever you don't grab, you're going to hand it to the other team. I mean, we're obviously going to see Athena show up on the other side now, I'm sure.
Possibly. I mean, of course, that's always guaranteed. I mean, you see Sobek being picked up. That either guarantees Bacchus, Athena, or possibly a Mir. I mean, Mir is kind of like the fourth wheel type thing. Like, he's there, he gets picked, he gets played, but it's hard to, combat the strength of Sobek, Athena, and Bacchus. They're just so very good. Bacchus Poseidon on the table now for Team Eddard, and of course, on her and Sobek, the picks there. I mean, in general, you see a strong solo lane pickup, first pick. Then it goes Sobek and something, usually Sobek Agni, but you see a lot of other picks there. Of course, you can see Honor, Ao Kuang in response here. Ao Kuang Poseidon lane, a very straightforward farm fest generally. I mean, it's a really even matchup. Ao Kuang can play very passively. There's not a whole lot that anyone can do, but of course, Ao Kuang could also be played aggressively and get lots of kills. Hoonbots put on the table here. Thanatos in response. I hope they lock this. Nope, it's going to be Nadja, possibly. They're still cycling more Loki. He's still deciding he wants to play jungle, just doesn't know why. Fenrir. He's got a few more junglers.
To make sure everyone knows that there are a bunch of junglers in the game. Want to make sure we hit all of them. You still got a couple more. Come on, there's Kali. Where's Thor? Come on, you still got Thor.
It's Kali.
You're missing a few.
Is
you
he
let me
lock
down
in?
right now.
It's going to be Kali?
He's going to stay on Kali. I missed a couple junglers in that rotation there. I'm disappointed. You let us all down. You let us all down. But you almost had him. Looks like Ymir, that little fourth wheel, is going to be showing up here today if they do decide to lock him in alongside Freya. It's an interesting strategy that shows up every now and again. It happened today, actually. Freya pretty much being played as the carry of the team rather than a physical carry because she can fill in perfectly well. It looks like they're looking through assassins here. I'm not positive what they're going to do locking in someone like Bastet. There we go. There's a carry. That's what you need right now. So we're going to be seeing that Apollo showing up alongside some sort of tank here. And then all they really need is their solo laner on the opposite side. Looks like Apollo Ymir is what we're going to end up with.
Final lineup there. Tyr, Bakasura, Poseidon, Apollo, and Ymir. Apollo and Ymir most likely going to line up together in the long lane. Poseidon the mid lane. Bakasura can go in the jungle or the solo lane, and Tyr can go in the jungle or the solo lane. But generally, with the lineup you have, you expect to see Bakasura in the jungle and Tyr in the solo lane. But again, as we've seen from SK Gaming, Zalia's Bakasura solo is undefeated up until this point, so it has a lot of merit to it. Hebo going to be selected here and possibly locked in for Team Tywin to see what they want to do with this. A little bit strange, of course. They're very squishy with the Kali, Ao Kuang, and Hebo, relying heavily on that Sobek. As far as the solo lane goes, they may want to go a little bit tanker, but not going to. So final lineup is going to be Ao Kuang, Hebo, Sobek, Kali, and of course Honor, Sobek, and lane up together. Looks like they're also going to have Hebo in the... I mean, he goes solo. He's probably a little bit better in the mid lane. Ao Kuang probably a little better than Hebo at the solo lane, but it all really depends on how they want to do it. And of course Kali in the jungle. So a very strange lineup there for Tywin, but can work out if they get ahead in the beginning, and something they are definitely shooting for.
They might possibly run Kali in the solo lane in jungle Hebo, but I don't expect to see it. I haven't seen a good Kali solo lane in quite some time. So I would not be disappointed if we got kicked out of the game. We were making for something?
Yeah, sometimes the swapping mechanic just bugs out. You're not allowed to swap or something along those lines.
Yeah.
So we could have the lobby being remade there. So we're gonna just go ahead and hop right back on to the players as the final lineup for that. So we're gonna see how that works out. Again, there was a little bit of an issue that does happen in the Smite client. Sometimes the lobby bugs out, and when it drops out like that, it means they left the lobby before the game actually started. So once they get that all set up and good to go, we'll have the matchup on screen for you guys. Thank you so much for tuning in today. We are watching the Code Green NA tournament this fine Saturday, and this is the first best or round of 8 match for the day, and we'll be watching Tywin up against Team Eddard. We'll be right back. Hey everyone, and welcome to the first matchup of the day. We're going to be watching the round of 8, Team Eddard up against Team Tywin. And they are heading on out. Let's cover who's playing what and where they're going. Team Eddard, the blue team, the last time that. We're going to have Smaxer there on Boxer in the jungle role. Snoopy on tier, you're going to play that solo role. Ted a Muffler playing Guardian as Amir, supporting his Hunter, Mr. Prodigy V on Apollo. And of course, Heartless Guy, cannot forget about him in the mid lane playing Poseidon. Across the way, red team, Tywin on steroids playing Kali. Linz on her, showing out some of that Apollo there. See the noodle being danced upon by Last Free Fool there on Ao Kwang. Kirito 1-1-1 on Sobek. And Otterish playing Hebo.
Noodle jump. Noodle jump's so good. I don't know which is better, Noodle jump or Bakasura jump. They're both quite glorious. We can see Team Eddard over here on the right, kind of gather around Fire Giant, looking for possibly an invasion opportunity here, as everyone but Ymir and Apollo is there. As Ymir went over just to support Apollo because he was potentially getting caught out there at the blue buff. They're there to make sure they don't get invaded, and everyone else is here to invade.
Yeah, they're kind of coming on through to see they can't grab something out of the medium camp there. Is going to be picked up. Bakasura with his lane mates are going to go and grab up that blue buff. It will end up going to Snoopy for the solo lane. Now they're going to go right back to the mid lane and see if they can't grab this one. There's a ward there, so they know exactly where they are right now. Good placement from Tywin. They're going to pick up the movement speed buff. No, they're safe to do so. Ao Kwang in the mid lane, going to push this lane up. Left lane, the Emir and the Apollo are going to push this up as well. Just get some free farm thing in. Let's look at the graph to see how things are going. In fact, Tywin seems to have a little bit of a lead here until the lane mains start dying. You see a little bit towards Eddard and now back towards Tywin. So pretty stable here. Seems like no one's getting a very significant gold lead early on. Right side lane being pushed up by Kali and Hebo. Very common practice for the jungler to help assist the solo lane and make sure it doesn't go too crazy in the beginning. The Boxer are now just doing the damage buff. I'm surprised to see Boxer just now getting a buff for himself. Kali, of course, has the movement speed. It looks like Boxer is going to do the blue buff without any knowledge that Kali's right behind him.
We'll see how well that turns out. Kali is just hanging out. Bakasura's dropping very low. I'm going to be surprised if he manages to get away from this. Turns around and notices Kali is there, but now she is already all over him, but the 2 is not going to come off cooldown. She's going to dive for this. She's going to get the kill, but go down immediately, but it's going to be a death to just the Olympian archers. Bakasura didn't turn around and land a single hit. So first blood, going to go to Tywin, and no actual kill credit in response for Eddard.
Initiation left side lane, Emir dropping pretty low here. Sickening strike as well as one more basic attack will finish him off, but it won't be the same fate for on her as Apollo tries to get it, ends up getting with the so beautiful Sobek charge spray into the minions. Will he survive is the question. Serenade comes on out. Sickening strike might follow up the tail whip. Does he have enough mana? A few basic attacks. Sickening strike. He's diving the tower. He wants it. Sickening strike does get it. So far 3-1 in favor of Tywin as they get the right side tier 2 tower dive on Bakasura. Emir loses his life on her, dies as well, and then of course Apollo towards the tail end of that. I always forget how much damage tier 2 towers do at low levels. Level 2 Kali running into a tier 2 tower, it was like over half her HP in one shot.
It was half of her HP from that tower shot. It was amazing. But we are 2 minutes in and we have already had 2, I guess, successful to moderately successful tower dives. I'm going to call it successful because she got the kill and Bakasura did not get the kill in response, but now he's going to come back and try to use his Hand of the Gods to rob that from Kali. I'm not actually sure who that mid camp went to, but he gave it a good effort right there. Right now, he's going to have a bit of a problem just because he's getting set behind this Kali. He's getting set behind in gold, but he's not too horribly far behind her in experience right now. So it's something he's definitely not going to have a huge problem with as long as he can farm efficiently and get back up to her level.
Yeah, I was really going to start looking towards that. It seems like Tywin is playing for the mid game right now. I mean, rushing Book of Thoth, rushing Heartseeker, rushing Mystical Mark. Not really any propensity for boots thus far. Something we did see, I mean, I've already dubbed it Shoeless Saturday as no one buying his boot. Desert Fury comes out left side lane, Frost Breath as well. Does he have an Impale? Is the question. Impale is going to come out pretty soon. Does he have it? The wall comes out from here. Is it going to be enough? One more basic attack will do it. Looks like he's going to grab it. Great placement there. In fact, that was the last shot he could have possibly made from his little spear well of infinite spear throwing towards the Apollo. And I'm going to pick the last one there. So that is going to be another kill for Tywin. 4-1 here at the 3.5 minute mark. Look at the graph. 600 gold up, 1,400 experience. So we might have an engagement in the mid lane.
There's tower dives everywhere. Bakasura hitting his level 5 now, so he does have that ultimate available if he wanted to try and contest Kali and Elkwang on the left side. But it doesn't look like he's really interested. It looks like he's going to try and get some counter jungling, but unfortunately these buffs are all already down as Kali has kept her jungle completely cleared. So this is just going to set him further behind as Kali gets these mid camps, gets all that extra experience and gold, and Bakasura is just on a wild goose chase. He's going to be going in for a gank now. That was the ultimate comes out from him and Tyr, and that damage is certainly going to take down Hebo. But with the new gold changes, that 1 kill's worth of golden XP is not going to offset all the extra farm Kali is getting over here in mid lane.
She's going to pick that right up there, and of course with the fact that there are already 3 kills up prior to that kill, now 4-2, 2-kill differential. I mean, it doesn't seem like it's a whole lot, but it's a great start. Shutting down Hebo is in fact a very, very good pickup for them. I mean, you look at the fact that, you know, Hebo is one of those characters that scales quickly. Initiation here in the light side lane as Tyr gets jumped on by the Kali that was previously mentioned by yourself, Squidish. Water cannon comes out, not gonna land. Kali, don't do it again. Okay. I mean, when she runs toward the towers, I can feel the... Oh, see? Yep. There's the blink in. There goes the cone. He goes to the ultimate. The tower drops are low. The minions will kill her. She is the blood god. I mean, the Kali, the goddess of destruction, and destruction she will have, whether it's her own or someone else's here. So right now we're going to see on steroids from Kali getting that roid rage and going right into tower range. Not going to pay out this time around as she dies as the Tyr gets a kill thus far. That's going to put it 4-3 here at the 5-minute and 20-second mark.
You know, it really makes me worry. As much as I appreciate some good old-fashioned bloodlust and completely reckless tower diving, as much as I can appreciate that, it worries me a little bit when you play like that and go directly for a Heartseeker first item, which Kali is picking up before even having a thought for boots at all, going right into that Heartseeker. When she gets that stacked up, she's going to have to stop playing so totally crazy with no regard for her own life. But that's not really going to end up paying off at all. Elkwang getting taken down the mid lane at this mid camp by Poseidon with the Ymir rotation. Sobek's coming over, but not before Ymir gets taken down by Onher. Sobek's actually in a lot of trouble right now. He's getting really low. Apollo might be able to finish this off. It looks like he's going to be going for the ultimate here. Is he going to go away or is he going to go for the kill is the question. Looks like he's just going to head back into his lane as everyone is rotated over to support this Sobek. Wow. Surprised Sobek was able to get out of that one alive.
Yeah, it seems like Apollo didn't want to play risky there. Didn't want to pull a Kali and try to dive in on that one, so it looks like he's going to be just fine for the time being. Impale comes out left side lane. Apollo's going to be okay here as the Impale does miss, of course, showing the basic attacks. In fact, Honor is going to be forced to jump away at this situation. We see the jungle, Bakasura and Kali going to run in, and, you know, something that's a little very, you know, it's simple. Something that's very basic, something that it doesn't seem like it does a lot, but it definitely does. In the situation we saw Ymir getting impaled and had a few basic attacks before he ended up dying, we would like to see the Poseidon actually body block instead of sending back throwing spells and basic attacks, and maybe Ymir would have lived in that situation. Mid lane we see Boxer ultimate coming out on top of the Whirlpool. Kali's going to be just fine as the baby Bacchus come through, but not the same for Tyr as Hebo actually gets a solo kill on Tyr, surviving with about a sliver HP. Initiation left side lane, and Pale comes out from the honor top of the Ymir, who's going to try and walk away from this one. There goes the dash from the Apollo, take a little investment from the ultimate from the Sobek. There's a Kali ultimate as well. Can they get the Blade Storm comes on through? The flurry is too much, and Ymir will fall. A 2-for-0 exchange in favor of Tywin as they kill both Tyr and Ymir.
Great trades in both lanes there. The Hebo 1v1 kill of manliness. Here goes the dive from Sobek. Land the charge spray. The Impale follows up, and this Apollo is certainly going to drop. Kali actually picking up that kill, walking out of the jungle, dropping her 2, and then moving on with her business after that one. A quick kill, giving it overall a 3-for-0 pickup for Tywin. 4 is Hebo. Madmo's Tyr once again comes back to lane and immediately just gets denied by Hebo. He doesn't even have his ultimate there. I'm not sure how he managed to get that one to go.
Initiation left side lane, a single basic attack should be enough. He pops the trident, the split might be enough. He throws him towards the Honor! He has to go behind him. Poseidon ultimate will secure the kill. Alright, this guy's had enough of that back and forth business. In fact, Honor got some distance. Apollo's up in the air. Here comes the dunk atop of the Kali, forcing him towards the jungle. Sobek gonna go away, and they're just gonna ignore the Sobek. They want the Kali, but Kali has a little bit more movement speed, especially with the movement speed buff that she has. Frost Breath, Glacial Strike on Sobek. Ao Kuang rotating over to left side lane, not able to get anything accomplished there. Of course, the Kraken is down for the count. Emir forcing back the Sobek towards his tower, but does not want to get thrown into it. So he decides to disengage from that one. So at this point, 9-5 Tywin making this look easy. We see a level 11 Hebo right now. Definitely top of the charts for his team, 4,500 gold, but a little bit behind the Poseidon actually. Looking at the charts, we're going to see a dead even gold difference, 937 experience difference for Eddard, even though they're 4 kills behind. Bakasura ultimate, Hebo uses his ultimate in response. Might actually go for a kill here on the Bakasura if Tyr wasn't there. Actually misses the Fearless Blink. Water spout, throws him up into the air, and Hebo just says, go away, get off my lawn, and they'll be just fine.
Hebo is not playing games right now. He is going full tryhard pants in the right lane, doing everything he can possibly do. Kali's going to blink in behind this Poseidon here. Go with her ultimate, tower diving again. Just going crazy. The Ao Kuang ultimate's going to get avoided. And Poseidon manages to get away, as does Kali, narrowly avoiding the last tower hit that would finish her off there. Meanwhile, Sobek and Ymir rotating around, but Honor's going to catch him out and impale him into the wall. The freeze is going to land though before Honor can really do any follow-up. There's the charge spray throwing Ymir into the obelisk, but Bakasura and Apollo are on the scene now, trying to see what they can make happen. They switch their targets to Sobek, who is just going to ult away, and really not a whole lot else going to happen there. I mean, when Sobek decides to ult away, if you don't have crazy amounts of damage to finish him off with, you might as well just let him go.
Mid tower being saved on its last leg here from Poseidon, rushing over to prevent the minions. Looks like Ao Kuang actually pushed the wave quite effectively before leaving. Possibly could use his ultimate if it came back off cooldown. Not sure about the time frame there. It should be coming up soon if he hadn't. But of course, pushed it up very, very effectively. The tower took a lot of damage. Of course, is a liability now for Poseidon. It prevents how far he can travel away from the lane. If he leaves for an extended period, Ao Kuang is just going to kill that tower and get 1,000 gold for his team. Left lane, Sobek diving into the tower, and Pale comes on out. Apollo's going to be just fine, as it wasn't a stun on the obelisk. In fact, it just forced him away from the engagement. Poseidon rotates over towards the Gold Fury. Kali across the way into the medium camp. Bakasura going to do the exact same thing. See if he can steal something away. He pops the ultimate, but Kali is just so fast with the movement speed buff. A few bites, and that's basically it. Bakasura is definitely going to need that hastened Fatalis. See if he can't prevent his movement speed slow. Kill on Apollo here in the left side lane. Actually, the Tyr blinks into the tornado, misses the Fearless, and runs back into the jungle for a whiff. But Apollo loses his life to the on-her Sobek combination left lane.
Poseidon threw his Kraken, but it was not quite enough to save him. Now they're pushing all back. The wall comes out for Ymir. He wants this Sobek, but the freeze is going to miss, and that means Sobek is going to be home free today. Poseidon still trying with that Whirlpool title surge combo, but unfortunately just no luck to be had there. Meanwhile, Ao Kuang in the mid lane. Somehow Poseidon's mid tower is still alive. Poseidon's got to show up here. Bakasura's with him to make sure he gets this lane push. I don't know how this tower hasn't died. I mean, this is some sort of miracle work. that Poseidon's rotated over, thrown his ult, stayed for a somewhat extended fight in left lane, and the tower still manages to live. For now.
One of the biggest thing is Ao Kuang is a little hesitant. It seems like he wants to rotate and then decides not to and comes back, and that kind of time waste is what is saving that mid lane tower. We see Tyr getting jumped on the right side lane, using his ultimate to jump away from that one. Judgment Day lands on absolutely nothing, just a tower to keep himself safe. Amir's going to find Ao Kuang, however, in the jungle. Kind of throw out some damage. The tornado goes down on the ground. His last free fool gets a little bit terrified there from the large imposing frost giant that comes on through. Kali's going to come to the mid lane and clear this one out of the minions and try and force down this tower. Does Ymir and Poseidon have enough damage to push this back? They most assuredly will, as the Glacial Strike Tile Surge combination pushes them away. Apollo's in the left lane. Does he have his ultimate? It looks like he does have that, so the Chariot is available if he needs to use it. And he might need to use it pretty soon here as Kali jumps on top. Serenade comes out, dashes into the Honor. Apollo pops his ultimate immediately. Great play there. That's going to prevent any further damage coming out on top. You see Honor not even using the Impale. Realizing he wasn't going to get the kill in time, so he's going to let him back off from that one. Mid lane, we got Bakasura and Poseidon pushing this up. The right lane, Tyr facing off against the Hebo, and it seems like they have a pretty even matchup, minus the fact that Hebo is sitting about 500 gold ahead.
And he's got a decent gold advantage from his 2-1 kill spread right now after man-moding Tyr down twice. both of his kills against his opponent in lane, so it's definitely going to help him out there. Left lane tower getting pushed pretty hard by Honor and Sobek right now. Charge Spray does come out on the Ymir, and followed up by an Impale and the Obelisk. A lot of damage actually going down to Ymir. Chooses to walk up and land the freeze rather than just trying to get away. Sobek goes into his ultimate now. This Ymir is most certainly going to die, and there he goes down to the Sobek ult. Rather than running, decides to try and slowly waddle over to and freeze them while just eating spears in the face. Not a great survival strategy.
Bakasura beside Red Tomb, so they can't grab something here. Good Obelisk going to slow him down. Impale on top of that Desert Fury as well. Trying to kill Poseidon. Does he get the ultimate off in half time? Alquag comes on through, hitting 2 players. The Tornado lands on Apollo, going after on here. Bakasura doesn't have the Tornado on top of him, but Apollo looks like he's not going to make it. The archers are too strong. Tyr is over here as well, surprisingly enough. A Whirlpool will deter the On Her from chasing her. Dunk down from the Tyr. Can he land the Fearless? The question, lands the Fearless. There's a kill on top of the On Her. Dropping some stacks off of that Heartseeker and getting a kill on the left side lane's going to help him out. But in the meantime, the right side tower has been taken out. The mid tower, somehow, some way, is surviving. And this is just the message of hope. Never give up if you're a tower. You can make it.
Never quit. Never surrender. But the right tower, not quite as lucky as the Hebo Kali combined forces to push that one down while Tyr was off in left lane, trying to help out with that gank. So the first tower of the game is going to go down in favor of Team Tywin. And now mid lane, Tyr has met the destroyers of his beloved tower and decided that he's going to walk away and doesn't actually want to fight them right now because they're pretty big and scary. And he doesn't want to try and take them both on at once. He's already had enough experience trying to fight Hebo alone. He definitely doesn't want to fight Hebo and Kali. Might be having an opportunity on Poseidon. She's just going to slap him with one Bloodlash there and move on with her life.
See if she can go in the jungle, grab something up. Look at the charts again. We're going to see 482 gold lead for Tywin as well as 365 experience lead for Eddard as Bakasura dives for the Hebo. He's chasing. He's getting closer. The water cannon is not going to land. The water spout will, however. Does he have an ultimate? Looks like he's going to bite right on through, but the minions are still doing damage to him. Here comes Alquag. Does he have a squall? Whirlpool's on the ground. He's going to heal himself up. Does he have meditation? Oh my god, he heals right on up and makes his way out of there just barely, but the Apollo is going to chase on through, finish him off there. Now Kali has had enough of this business. Pops her ultimate, going after the Poseidon, going to run right towards her tower. Honor is here, not going to land the Impale. Desert Fury does come out, missing a lot of spears. In fact, only 3 spears hit of that total duration. A very, very inefficient usage there. Poseidon wiggling back and forth efficiently. Wall comes out as Sickening Strike does as well, so that's going to be just fine. Sobek gets caged in as the animal that he is, and that's going to be the end of that engagement. Overall, it's going to be a 2-for-1 exchange. Bakasura trying to make something happen. Indeed, does get the Hebo, loses his life, but they will pick up Alquag in the process.
Pretty good trade for Bakasura, getting that Alquag baited that far out to make sure he got the kill. Tyr miraculously sliding away with like 5 HP after attempting to get blink in and gank the Hebo and getting ulted in the face. We see the Hastened Fatalis coming out on Bakasura now, so Bakasura has just rushed right to that speed item so that while he is in his ultimate, while he's got his Butcher Blades active, while he's doing anything, he is going to be able to stick to people very well, especially with the Bakasura ultimate. That is just such a powerful tool, as it's virtually impossible to not hit something with his auto attacks because they're giant cones of shredding death that are going to keep him at max movement speed while he goes ham on people.
Big rotation in the mid lane, going after the Alquag. Pops his ultimate in the corridor there, forcing the Boxer to drop low HP. He has his ultimate active, trying to go after this. Looks like Kali gets body blocked a little bit by the sheer mass that is Ymir. Tyr over the wall, trying to pick up Kali here, drop her to lower. She's going to heal herself up with her 3 activation. She will be fine for the time being as they back off, but Bakasura will not be in the same situation. He falls down to Honor's basic attacks. 3-man rotation, Tornado on top of Ymir, chasing down Alquag and Hebo. Looks like they will be getting out. The blink comes out from the Tyr. Apollo's up into the air. Hooli dunk on as Alquag gets picked off. Hebo forced back towards his tower. The fight continues towards the Tier 1 middle lane. Desert Fury picks off Poseidon, who got so very greedy there. All ultimates are down for Eddard. Tywin still has the Hebo ultimate and the Sobek ultimate, but Ymir, Apollo, and Tyr have had enough of this back and forth, and they're going to actually lose 2-for-1 this time around and have to run back towards their mid lane. 15-9 here, the 17-minute and 20-second mark, and we still have a very slim lead. It doesn't seem like they're really turning this into anything. They're getting the kills, but no Gold Furies, no towers, no objectives.
Yeah, they've had this slight gold lead for basically the whole time, and now it looks like, potentially, as if by a miracle, Tywin's mid falls before Eddard's. Eddard's mid tower that has been basically dead since the dawn of time. Still standing. Still standing. A monument to determination as Tyr walks up and says nope to the enemy middle tower and takes it down. A mischarge spray from Sobek is going to get him some harassment and tower shots in left lane, but no real damage is going to leave a mark there. They're just going to back off and disengage as Bakasura rotates over looking for food.
There it goes, the Boxer jumping and impaled immediately. Great reaction there from the Honor colleague. Good block from the Obelisk. The Bakasura comes on out with his ultimate. Getting a little bit of movement speed there. He's actually going to avoid the tornado. Can he jump away in time? Will Bakasura survive? The Desert Fury is out of range, and Bakasura, with the flick of his wrist, incredible reaction time, will flip around before he walks into the winds of death and make his way back towards the jungle. Likewise, Apollo avoiding the Alquag ultimate on top of that. So Alquag's got to be frustrated with the fact that people are just wiggling around his own noodle status damage, and looks like they're going to be just fine. Still 15-9. Nothing has yet to change.
That was about the biggest nope I've ever seen come out of a Bakasura. He just whips around. He's like, nope, I'm going the other direction. I have changed my mind. I don't want to be here anymore. Hebo on the hunt, watching Tyr do this blue buff. Does Tyr know is the question. Looks like Hebo's going to try to come in. Who gets leashed, actually. Not sure if intentional. The Bakasura is going to show up and make sure he's able to help Tyr secure this as Tyr just kind of stands out in zones. Doesn't want to let Hebo rob him of this blue buff and of this golden experience. After all the hard work he's been putting into beating this little Cyclops into submission, he wants to be rewarded for it.
He certainly does, and it's something that, he really is looking forward to as often as he possibly can. Getting those buffs is important. I mean, the solo lane does rely heavily on that blue buff. It's something you want to fight for if you possibly can, but it's not always worth your life, and it's good to have that kind of perspective, especially since Hebo didn't commit to that, just was looking for opportunity to get it. We see Chin's blades being picked up here from the Honor, most likely going to be turned into Chin's size. I like this pickup a lot. I think Chin's size is a very underrated item that probably should be picked up more often. Odderish coming on to the left side here, trying to force back Tyr as he gets jumped on possibly, but there goes a slow from the Ao Kuang, and with the increased slow, the 50% slow there on that Squall, it's very, very potent, and he kind of just waddles slowly away as Hebo goes back towards his lane. Bakasura going to push up the mid lane. Really the only tower down for Eddard is going to be that mid lane tower across the way. Tywin ended up successfully killing the right side tier 1 tower against Eddard as well, so that's going to be a situation we're in right now, but that right side tier 1 for Tywin is pretty low, and if Bakasura gets a gank here, they can definitely take it out.
Bakasura is going to walk in the lane here and help Tyr push, seeing if they can get this tower pushed down. Ao Kuang going to venture around the long way, the safe way, just to make sure he doesn't get caught out as Tyr goes in on this tower, trying to finish it off, manages to avoid the storm, and does finish off the tower. Bakasura going to drop his ultimate immediately. Aegis in response from Ao Kuang with a lot of damage still coming out in this Ao Kuang. Tyr going to blink in, pick him up with Fearless, and that is going to be the end of Ao Kuang. Meanwhile, in left lane, Ymir gets taken down by Sobek and Honor, and now Tyr is still going. Poseidon is... Hebo ults out of the Kraken to freedom at his tier 2 tower, staying back, making sure he does not get blown up by the giant angry squid. Now Tyr looks like he's going to teleport over to left lane and continue fighting. He needs to continue fighting, and he shows up and gets a Sobek. Man dunks in with his ultimate. Honor jumps just straight up. Doesn't actually go anywhere. Popping his beads to make sure he's not able to be picked up by Fearless, and then the Whirlpool followed up by the Apollo ultimate. Aegis is not going to save him from that 3-man gang. Tyr did not get his hands.
Kali, go! Kali, she did it!
Kali hates towers. Kali just hates towers.
She just ran at it. Now she's getting eaten alive by the Bakasura, who's so upset. There's the dunk. Does he have an ultimate? No slow. Hebo gonna land the river there. But Kali, I was just so excited to see someone just kill the little baby tower that had no HP left. She just ran at it. She just popped her one. Kali raged. She's like, I want the tower now.
She just hates towers. She's hated towers ever since she was a little baby, Kali. At level 1. She's hated towers. She does not respect the tower. She wants the tower to be taken down. And Tyr, apparently unable to get his hands on enough combat, teleporting all over the map just to make sure he is actively engaged in dude slaughter as often as possible. Something I can certainly respect. Ymir coming around from behind Sobek here, looking like there's no one really here to follow up, but it looks like he wanted to set something up, but nobody really came with him. Bakasura again finding Kali in the jungle. At this point, Bakasura is much bigger than this little golden Kali. So Kali definitely does not want to start this fight by herself. But a lot of friends are behind her rotating over to help her out should something get started here.
Right side Tier and Hebo are going to go at it as well during that whole engagement. Tier is actually going to spam taunt as he steals away the blue buff, grabs it and runs away. Left side lane being pushed up yet again on her Kali and Sobek right here. Boxer decided to go in the mid lane. Tier's grouping up as well. Do they want to jump over the wall and grab this Ao Kuang is the question. They're going to grab some Harpies for the time being. Left side might have initiation. There's Poseidon ultimate coming on through. Tidal Surge and the Ymir ultimate shards of ice will scatter about. Finish off Sobek. Not done yet. There goes the actually the ultimate from the Bakasura. Not going to land the cripple as he did jump previously. It looks like the wall's going to go up. Apollo's up in the air. Look for the dunk and dunk behind them as Kali comes on through. Desert Fury doing some damage, but not enough as Bakasura survived. Fearless, Cleave, Frost Breath, and then is the end of Kali. 3 for O exchange for Eddard. So previously, when Tywin had the advantage, in fact, they still have the kill advantage. Ao Kuang ultimate! Gonna hit some damage there, not gonna get any kills. Tornado on the ground. Tier not done yet. Dunks on top of him. Does he have the Fist of the Gods stun? Fearless into the wall. Through the tower, actually. Cleaves him up into it. As we see the Poseidon trying to get something done. I don't think he has enough mana nor the positioning to accomplish this kill. Look at the graphs now. It's going to be 5,400 gold total. If this tower goes down, it'll be 6,400 around that mark, as this tower will end up falling, and that is going to put them up 6,900 gold right now. So that tier 2 tower a little bit more worthwhile than the tier 1. 10,000 experience as well. So even the fact that Tywin is ahead 1 kill, they're behind 7,000 gold, and I think it's still taking people a lot of time to realize that, you know, kills aren't where it's at anymore with the recent changes.
They're really not. It's all about farming and objectives. And Tywin having this advantage almost the entire early game, going into the mid game, still with this decent advantage, just unable to convert it into anything. The advantage they got from kills was just not enough. They didn't try to push any major objectives with the no gold furies. They've only gotten 2 towers down while they had this lead. Unable to make anything happen with their advantage, and now it's been robbed away, and Eddard is just running off with this lead here. Bakasura going to get caught very alone in the jungle. The Sobek's charge prey, however, isn't going to throw him back very far. I don't know if he got clipped on the wall there or what exactly happened, but Ao Kuang is ready with the tornado, and Bakasura just didn't really go anywhere.
Yeah, I just want to throw it down for a little bit of a slow. It looks like they kind of stumbled upon each other as they're trying to get through there. There just wasn't enough room for all 3 of them to fit through the doorway at the same time, so Boxer's going to survive for the time being. Tier pushing up the right side lane, getting that split push through. Likewise for Onher and Sobek on Team Tywin, trying to get the left side tower pushed down and farming up to see if they can't get caught up in this match. They're in a tough spot, certainly, to see if they can win this match outright. Right side tier 2 tower being pressured now as 4 people group up. Ymir on his way, going to make that 5. Blink, Fist of the Gods, Fearless, Cleave right on top of Otters. Ao Kuang ultimately do a little bit of damage there, but looks like Ao Kuang will fall down as well as a Hebo. A 2 for O exchange, and now this tier 2 tower is under siege.
And Kali goes in trying to land a Blood Lash and beat Doodly, showing that she knows no fear. And there goes the tier 2 tower with just Sobek, Kali, and Onher up to defend. They might try and push in and convert this into a Phoenix. It's very possible they could, but it looks like they're going to pull back, grab some farm, rob the enemy jungle, and just try and collapse on this last tower for just a little bit more gold. Everything they can possibly squeeze out right here for an advantage, they are going to take. 5 men pushing forward on this tower. Sobek alone gets frozen, but everyone's just ignoring the crocodile. Nobody cares. Everyone's slapping this tower. They want that sweet, sweet tower gold. Again, kills are just not where it's at right now. And besides, it's Sobek, and Sobek doesn't care a whole lot. But a Blink, the Fearless, the beads coming out too late from Honor when he was already in the air. Jungle away with the power cleave. Desert Fury comes out, but it doesn't matter. The Bakasura ultimate is just absolutely shredding everybody, as Kali is the only one left to escape. But now Ao Kuang and Hebo are back up. The Mighty Storm has landed on Apollo, doing a lot of damage. The Spout, it hurts. Apollo forced to dash away. The Ao Kuang ultimate stops just short, but he ages just in case, just to make sure he doesn't get blown up by that giant angry Dargon.
That's a scary ultimate when you know it's coming, you hear it's coming, you realize you're running into the path of it, and he's just like, you know what, I don't want to die, and he just pops it up there. He will survive the time. But look at the itemization, we see 2 chin size. In fact, Apollo and Honor have the same exact build here. I like the Heartseeker in a chin size a lot better than I like the Heartseeker into a C build that we've seen sprouting up. I think it's a lot more stable, something that's a little more effective overall. Looks like Snoopy going to lose his life here in the left side area, getting caught under the damage buff area, just lazy backing an enemy jungle. Of course, the respawns did come out in time, and he's going to be completely caught there. Apollo going to take away the movement speed buff. Bacchus are a little shocked by that one, and a little upset, and then dazed and confused as he runs right through, and will end up surviving for the time being without that buff. He'll have to avoid the movement speed that he just so desperately loves. I mean, look at the itemization right now. You see Hasten Fatalis, Executioner, Rage. He just wants attack speed. He doesn't have a whole lot of damage. I think this is a mistake that a lot of Bacchusors fall into, as you see the hop coming out. It's just they just build too much attack speed.
Look at his feet. Look at his little feet when he jumps. He just kicks his feet up. He's like, he can't even get his giant head off the ground. He jumps, he just kicks his little feet up in the air, and they go over his head, and it's awesome. I love it. But yeah, this Bacchusura definitely going to be way over attack speed cap with these 3 items, combined with the Bacchusura passive, which gives him even more attack speed. Going to be almost entirely wasted because he's already going to be overcapped just from the items alone. So, like you said, not the greatest itemization. But Bacchusura is just going for rapid-fire nom-noms right now. He knows what he wants, and he is building for the noms. Honor able to slip away in right lane, or is he? As Apollo rotates around here, they find him out in the jungle. He just impales him away, gets the nope. The cripple from the whirlpool comes out. He banges the bees, but jumps out right as the walk. Apollo's not done. Chariot goes up as the 3-man freeze. The Kraken combined with the Ymir ultimate. So much damage coming out, and then Fearless picking up and destroying Sobek and Evo. Just such an easy 2 pickup kills. All of the crowd control in the known universe getting thrown down right now, and they're going to turn this into a fire giant.
Fire Giant be pressured down. There's not a whole lot that Tywin can do. In fact, there's nothing that Tywin can do about it unless the Honor comes by and gets a single basic attacker and Impale luck clean there. Of course, does have Desert Fury on top of that, but the Fire Giant will be picked off by Eddard. At this point, 21-17, 12,000 gold, 18,000 experience. Eddard right now is in complete control of this match, and Tywin really needs to just sit down and adjust their strategy. They're grouping up and scattering thereafter. They need to stay grouped. They need to see if they can't get some team fight prowess together. They need to combo their abilities. Impale on top of a tornado, block people in, knock them up, and then go for charge prey while they can't move their direction. There's a lot of things that they could do on Tywin with the lineup that they have, but they just don't have the grouping. They don't have the teamwork to do it. The damage output is required from the Hebo. Kali so far behind right now, 4-3-2, but doesn't have the goal that she needs to stay ahead. It looks like Ao Kuang's in the same situation. Ao Kuang going to get picked off there in the middle lane from the Apollo rotation. The Albus actually blocked the Ao Kuang a little bit as on her tried to defend himself. Ended up hurting his teammate a little bit. Tier dunking in, trying to grab something up. Fist of the Gods might come through. Each time it gets popped as he Fearless is right on through it. It's like it was a ghost. Trident, Whirlpool, going for the mid. Phoenix, it will end up falling. Double Frost Breath, Glacial Strike. Can they get a team fight victory and go for the Minotaur? The charge comes through. The Poseidon ultimate comes out as well. Sobek is on low HP right now. Bacchus are only going to bite right through him and have some nice dinner as they go for the Minotaur.
As they collapse in here, Tyr just standing right in front of the well, saying, "Come get some." Playing the zoning role right now, but taking a lot of damage. He picks up the Honor. Beads come out, but the Minotaur dies right before Honor or Tyr could. Both ending the game at incredibly low health. But this one's going to go to Eddard, and they are going to move on into the semifinals.
They certainly are, and something that they're pretty excited about. Of course, that will go to the round of 4, and they will face off for their chance to get some gems. And of course, 3rd place is all you need to win some gems there. It's going to be a really, really big pickup for you. It's 1,000 gems for 3rd place, 2,000 gems for 2nd place, and of course, 1st place gets 4,000 gems overall. So definitely something that they're all working towards. But let's look at the matchup here. We did have Team Eddard versus Team Tywin, a round of 8 matchup. 5-1-10 on Poseidon, 7-3-8 on Tyr. Ymir sitting 1-5-11, but of course the 11 is going to be the biggest thing, especially since he ended up taking 19,000 damage. But that pales in comparison to the 28,000 damage taken by Tyr, who just jumped in every time and tried to get some setups and had plenty of setups to capitalize. 4, 5, and 11 there on Apollo, 6, 3, and 8 on the Bakasura. Great damage split between them. Across the way, 21,000 damage done by the honor rate, 6 and 3. Not as many assists as he does have kills, but of course did top the charts in that fashion. 14,000 damage done by Hebo, 2, 4, and 2. I mean, there's a lot of damage depth here, and I think it just came down to the overall team fights, and the objectives just scaled Eddard out of control.
Yeah, Tywin kept getting caught a lot out of position. A lot of individual or pairs of players kept getting caught out and destroyed. Like you said, they were just having a little bit more difficulty grouping up. Whereas as it moved into the mid and late game, Eder did a great job of sticking together and swinging around as one big 5-man hammer, making sure that nobody really got isolated, nobody got caught out alone. And whenever they took the opportunities, even when Tywin was grouped up, you have Snoopy on tier who could blink in, who could man dunk in, and turn around, pop the Fearless, and drag 1 or 2 people so far out of position, like a Sobek that's doing crazy amounts of damage while he does it, and also doesn't leave himself out of position after Sobek went with the charge prey, as you saw him get picked off a couple times for going in with the charge prey, and then just getting blown up for being in the middle of the enemy team. He just wasn't quite tanky enough to actually survive there. But they had such great initiation and so much CC to follow it up with between the 2 big ground AoE cripples with the Poseidon Whirlpool and the Baka ultimates, combined with the Ymir freeze, and of course Tyr just juggling people all over. It was just enough control to just one at a time single down the numbers of Tywin.
It certainly was. That's going to be the final matchup of this round of 8. However, we'll watch this team move on forward. If we check on the brackets and how things are progressing, we're going to see this is going to be the first one completed, but it looks like Caitlyn beat out Cersei in that round of 8 matchup as well, so they were sitting in the semifinals to face off against the winners of Sansa Stark and Jaime Lannister. Robb Stark and Tyrion Lannister are going to face off as well. As you can see, all the Lannisters versus Starks are matched up in that fashion. So we're going to a brief break, guys. We'll check in with the players to see where they're at in the tournament, and we'll bring the next matchup on screen when it's ready to go. Thank you so much for tuning in today for the Code Green Tournament NA. And if you're not a member of Tiermonster.com, head on over to Tiermonster.com and sign on up. We'll see you pretty soon.